Before we go to page 2, I just want to make sure everybody got this down. I know we ran out of time on the video. It only gives me 15 minutes, so I'll just explain this one and you can write if you did not get it. So yellow divided by red would be 4 divided by 3, which is the same thing as 4 over 3. And then I went down here to show you how to change that to a mixed number. So 3 goes outside, 4 goes under the division sign, 3 goes into 4 once. 1 times 3 is 3. When we subtract, we get 1, so it's 1 and 1 over 3. So we were writing this as the time ran out. The yellow broomstick is 1 1/3 times longer than the red one. Okay, let's go ahead and go to page 2. If you have some highlighters, might be a really good idea. I'm going to use green highlighter for green, yellow for yellow. I don't have a red highlighter, so I'm going to use pink when it comes to those. So it's easier for you to see that way if I use the colors. Okay, so let's take a look at this first one on page 2. So this is Module 3, Lesson 1. We're on page 2. So let's go ahead and put our key over here from the other page. Red was 3, yellow 4, green 6. So we can write that over here so we have it. Red is 3. Yellow 4. And green is 6. So that way we don't have to keep flipping it over. So this one's comparing the green to the yellow. So remember, we have to keep it in the order that it says. So this will be the green, this will be the yellow. So the green is 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And the yellow is 4. So the green's broomstick is how many copies of the yellow broomstick? So you can see it's 1 full copy and then 2 more out of 4. So I would say it's 1.5 copies, but I'll show you how to test that out and show what it really is. So 6 green over 4 yellow, right? That's 6/4. So if we simplify that, which would make our work easier at the beginning, 2 goes into both of those, so that's 3/2. And then remember how we change it into a mixed number. Divide 2 into 3. 2 goes into 3 once. 1 times 2 is 2. Subtract remainder over divisor, 1.5. And isn't that what we predicted here? The green is 1 whole yellow plus another half of the yellow. So the green broomstick is 1.5 copies of the yellow broomstick, or the green broomstick is 1 1/2 times as long as the yellow broomstick. So Because it says times, we need to divide. So 6 divided by 4 simplifies to 3 halves. Then we divide it out and get 1 1/2 times. Okay, on this next one, we are comparing yellow and green, but notice the yellow is listed first. So we need to write the yellow up here and the green here, because we always have to keep it in the order that they say, because see how these are switched? The answers aren't going to be the same. You'll see they're actually reciprocals of each other. So yellow we said was 4. So let's color 4 yellow. And the green is 6. So color in 6 squares for green. And so this one is going to be 4 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, that is not a simplified fraction. So we're going to want to divide both of those by 2. And that gives us 2/3. So the yellow broomstick is, see if you divide the green into 3 equal parts. 1 part, 2 parts, 3. Can you see the yellow is 2/3 of the green? Or the yellow is 2/3 as long as the green. And you can easily see that it's 2 of the 3 equal pieces that make up the green. Now would be a good time for you to shut off the video and try 5 and 6 on your own. Okay, so for 5, we have yellow listed first and red listed second. Looking up at our key at the top, we can see yellow is 4 and red is 3. So yellow is 4. This is from the key above that we put in the right-hand corner of our paper. And the red is 3. And like I said, I don't have a red highlighter, so I'm going to use pink. Just pretend that's red. So now we want to compare them. Remember, when it says times as long, that means we divide in the same order they're given. So that would be 4/3. So 4/3. And let's change it to a mixed number. So 3 goes on the outside. 3 goes into 4 once. I think we did this one earlier, didn't we? And so we get 1 1/3. So the yellow is 1 whole plus, if we divided this into 3, it's 1 whole pink plus 1 more square, which is 1/3 of the pink. So that makes sense that it's 1 1/3 times. So it's a whole pink plus 1/3 more. So it's 1 1/3 copies of the red broomstick, or it's 1 1/3 times as long as the red broomstick. So again, times is multiplicative reasoning, which tells us to divide. So 4 divided by 3, when we did that, we got 1 1/3. We can write that over there just so you don't wonder where that number came from. So how'd you guys do? It's not so bad, right? We just have to remember when we see that times, just to divide the numbers in the order they give them to us. Okay, let's look at number 6 and see how you did. Okay, on number 6, they listed red first. So we'll list red. And they listed yellow second. So then we'll do yellow. Looking up at our key at the top, red is 3 feet, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot. And yellow is 4 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. So out to the side, we can write those numbers. This would be 3 over 4. We don't need to divide. It's not an improper fraction. It's a regular fraction, but we do need to look for common factors. Nope, nothing common. So we'd say the red broomstick is 3, see the 4 pieces? 3/4 of the yellow broomstick. And it's 3/4 times as long as the yellow. So 7 wants to know, in 3 through 6, all the problems we did, why didn't we use feet? So think back to what we learned on page 1. When do we use feet? Let's take a peek back at page 1. We use feet when we're using what kind of reasoning? Additive reasoning. We use feet when we used additive. But when we're using multiplicative reasoning, we said 2 times longer. 1 1/3 times longer. So the reason we didn't use feet on page 2 is because we're doing multiplicative comparisons, not additive comparisons. So additive comparisons use the unit, feet, inches, whatever. Where multiplicative comparisons, just think multiply means times. That's how you can remember. So anytime you see multiply, you know the word times will be in your answer. So that's what we need to explain here. We did not use feet because we were doing multiplicative comparisons. Not additive comparisons. So we did not use the word feet because we were doing multiplicative comparisons, not additive comparisons.